Good morning, everybody. This is Deanna with Food Bank Beautiful, sporting two pairs of glasses like I always do. It is Wednesday, the 23rd, I think, and it's about noon, and I am in the kitchen. I've got a tiny fun project that I want to do, and I thought I would bring you guys along as well. Now, for those of you who are brand new, welcome. This is a channel that talks about going to the food bank without having to make excuses, without having to be ashamed. It helps you, I hope, feel good about yourself and taking care of your family. All right? So I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're taking a chance. Now, a lot of times I will do food bank hauls, usually 2 a month, sometimes a little bit more frequent than that, sometimes a little bit more spread out. Just depends on what I need for my family. So if I don't need anything, I don't go. If I do need something, I go and look and see if they have it and pass on the things that I have plenty of. And if I'm down to bare bones, then I go ahead and, do my shopping. So I use the food bank in Granite Falls, Washington, and I cannot say enough lovely things about them. I don't know, I think there's some paid staff, but I think they're mostly volunteer staffed. They are so lovely. They are so kind, so helpful, just fabulous. And so I want to just give a big shout out to them. They are wonderful. And while we're just looking at me this morning, let's admire the fall pajamas. All right, let's just do that because I'm going to wear them all day. And if I film tomorrow, you might see these again. And I'm not going to, I'm not going to make any apologies. All right. So I do not know about you guys, but when I go to the food bank, there is always white rice. And I love white rice, but I don't enjoy cooking it very much. I did finally come across a rice cooker and I've had better luck with that, but I want to start making some rice sides. And it's the perfect time of year. It's fall. It goes with everything. And I want to make use of my rice, but I want something more than white rice. And so I've been watching on YouTube because I watch as much YouTube as you guys do. Yes, I do. I love YouTube. I've been watching some pantry channels that talk about building a pantry. And this is just what I watch. You can be watching something different, but I watch the working pantries. Not the survivalist 10-year, nuclear meltdown kind of pantries. A, I don't have the room for that. And B, for me and my family, I just prefer a working pantry. And what I mean by that is a pantry that, I could cook out of for a few weeks if I needed to. Now, one of the things that I watched was a woman, and she was stocking up on some convenience foods. And those are lovely. There is nothing wrong with that, right? But for most people, when you use a food bank, you have a limited grocery budget. My budget is limited to about $35 a week, give or take, with some extra funds set aside for occasional trips to Costco where we do buy some of the things that we use a lot in bulk. And that seems to be working perfect for us. Now, I'm not saying that you do that or you don't do that. Babes, it's your kitchen. You do what works for you, and I will do what works for me. Okay? Now, I just want to take a moment and remind people that on this channel, This girl does not put up with bullying. And I recently had to do episode 4 of If You Can't Say Anything Nice, Don't Say It. All right? So when you want to leave a comment, you don't have to agree with me. We don't have to like the same things. I can cook something and you can say, my God, Deanna, that looks horrible. I'm not going to have a coronary over that. All right? First of all, I don't have coronaries. Second of all, you can say, oh my gosh, I saw how you did this. Did you ever think about trying it this way? That's fine. Okay? Anything along those lines, perfect. Okay? All right. But if you are one of those people that sit up in the middle of the night and you feel like you want to comment negatively about people who use the food bank, I'm going to call you out. I am going to call you out and dedicate an entire episode to, if you can't say anything nice at all, don't say it. All right? All right. So if you're, thinking that, by God, you want to write something, so, what the hell, girl? I saw 2 cans of soup in your cupboard. Why are you going to the food bank? You want to write something like that? You go watch episodes 1 through 4 and see if that's what you really want to do. Okay? I'm just saying. All right? I'm just saying. Okay, that aside. Next little order of business. I've been gone for a few days. Those of you who watch me all the time, you know that my family consists of my husband, myself, and my 93-year-old grandmother, who is in her room right now watching TV and working on her puzzles, but she'll come out and join me a little bit later today. So we have a family of 3. I cook mostly from scratch, but not always. But today I feel like I want to make myself some convenience meals. So I found a couple of things on YouTube. All of them looked really good. I've decided to follow the recipes provided by a YouTube channel called, I think it's called Pow and Plow. Pow and Plow. And if you like this, what I'm doing today, go to her website or her YouTube channel and give her a little bit of love, okay? So that's where I got it from. And I'll put that website in this clip. All right. Now, some of you might be saying, Deanna, you look kind of good this morning. Well, I kind of do. And that is because for the first time in 26 months, my husband and I were able to get away for 4 days. All right. We went to Port Townsend. We stayed in a little offbeat, not fancy hotel, and we had the best time. We took walks daily, more than one. We walked through town and counted all the deer, and by the end of the 4 days, we had 39 deer that we had spotted in town. Walking in front of our motel, walking by the bakery that we like to go to, hanging out a block from, the waterfront. It was great. We packed up a cooler with mostly our food from home, and we just enjoyed ourselves, and we did it on pennies, and it was perfect. Grandma now has a caretaker who takes care of her for 4 entire days a month, which from this point forward will allow my husband and I to get away, have some time to ourselves. Now, whatever you think about that, be careful what you write in the comments, okay? So part of elder care is that you must take care of yourself. And if you're a married person, you cannot put your spouse on hold to take care of your loved one, all right? Now, it took us a long time, over a year, to find someone to take care of Grandma. We were exceedingly picky. Yes, we were. We're not leaving Grandma with anybody, right? And her first name is Stacy, and she's a behavior modification teacher at the school district right down the road from us. And you know what? She was fantastic. Okay, absolutely fantastic. When I got home, first of all, my house was so clean, I didn't even think it was my house. And I told her, I said, girl, and I told her this before because we had, some prep visits and all kinds of things. I'm just going to wipe my nose. I'm so sorry. With a piece of paper towel. That was not soft. Okay. I just wanted her to take care of Grandma. It's not her job to clean my house. I cleaned my house to my standard before she got here, but she did some cleaning to her standard. Oh my God. It was spotless. It was spotless. I have sliding glass doors over here that I can see through for the first time in probably 6 months. All right. My kitchen floor, even though I swept it, I called to check on Grandma one day, and Grandma said, hey, Stacy's, scrubbing the kitchen floor. Stacy, you don't have to scrub my kitchen floor. But she did. And you know what? It's gorgeous. Grandma, when we got home, she was so happy. She'd had such fun. She looked fantastic. Everything was good. So now I'm home, though, and I need to get back to what I need to do. Now, this is rambling, so I'll leave a note in the front of this video that says go to about 11:45 minutes in, and we'll get directly to the recipes and not all of this. But all of this and these jammies, they gotta be worth it, people. Okay, here we go. I want to make some rice mixes that I will use, that my future self does not have to do the work for, and might be tasting better than just plain white rice. But we're going to start with our plain white rice. Now, if you go to the food bank and, you get rice, go ahead and grab a bag of rice and come home and make these. Now, Pow and Plow offered 6 varieties, and I'm going to make a couple, except that I'm out of dry chicken bouillon. I am having to do a Walmart order this morning or this afternoon, so I might make them and just add the bouillon later tonight when my order comes. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with some onion, French onion rice, which I think would be great with pot roast, with roasted chicken. It could be just anything you wanted it to be. So let me pull up the recipe. And she calls it onion rice. And the first thing that she did is she added 2 cups of rice to a pint jar. I did that for you. Actually, I did it twice. All right. So let's go ahead and come down here, and you're going to get to see more of, this gorgeousness. Here we go. Aren't those cute stinking jammies? Don't you just love them? Oh my God, and they're so soft. They're like baby blanket. Really thin, so soft. Okay, let's stop talking about me. Onion rice. So 2 cups of rice per pint jar. Then we're going to use 3 tablespoons of our Lipton onion mix. And I'm going to just pop that into a jar where I can easily do that. Now let me read it correctly. Let's make sure that's what it says. 3 tablespoons per jar. And that might be all that's in a packet, but I have 2 packets, so we'll be okay. 1, 2, and 3. And let me open up my other packet. And we'll stick that in there. And we'll put 3 more tablespoons in the other one. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, there is 3. Now, the next thing it's going to ask for is 1 teaspoon of dried parsley. That's what I have. Now, the onion soup mix is mine, though I have been able to get it at the food bank during the holidays sometimes, so you might be able to find it. All the seasonings here are going to be mine. So there's a teaspoon of parsley and a teaspoon of parsley. And then it's going to ask for a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. So we can easily do that. 1/2 teaspoon of... I just wanted to make sure that was salt because I had gone on vacation and I took sugar in a glass jar for our coffee. And I just wanted to make sure that when I got home, I wasn't lazy throwing stuff willy-nilly away. Teaspoon of sugar or a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar probably would not have been yummy in this rice. So I checked it. All right, here we go. 1/2 teaspoon of salt per jar, just like that. And a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Now I pulled my pepper out. What did I do with it? Oh, it's right here in front of me. All right. 1/4 teaspoon. 1 and 2. And just like that, we have onion rice. Okay? I thinking that's going to be so good. I might even be able to pour this into a, stew meat and make a beef and noodle, or not noodles because I've got rice, beef and rice soup. It'll taste delicious. So there's all kinds of things that I know that I can do with this. So let me grab some lids and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Onion rice mix. And I have found that I can use a Sharpie on these plastic lids and later they'll just wash off with a little, scrubbing. So I'm not too worried about it. So let's go ahead and label, because I don't know about you girls, men, guys, whoever's watching. If I don't label, I think I'm going to remember. And then 3 months down the line, I go to use it and I can't tell. Is this a corn muffin mix? Is it my spice cake mix? Is it my yellow cake mix? What is it? I don't know. It's been scary. Okay, let's go ahead and you can come down here. All right, so we're going to call this onion rice mix. And we're going to put the month and the year. And I'm going to want to use these up within a year. Okay, so just like that, we have the onion. Now, she has 6 other flavors, and I want to make some more, but in order to do that, I can do that for you guys right now, because I'm not going to come back and do it later. But I don't have the chicken bouillon. So, go to Pow and Plow and get your recipe from there. Let me come back and see if I can do another one for you. All right, I am going to do the chicken, and she just calls it chicken rice. So that's what we're going to do. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put 2 cups of rice in each jar. Let's go ahead and come down. You can watch me do this one. And I'm just using, I think this is long white grain. You could use jasmine or basmati or whatever you had. Let's see if that's gonna... There we go. I'll do 2 more or 1 more. Okay, now I do have another bag of rice in my pantry. So let me go get it, okay? Okay, here we go. I got another bag of rice. So let's go ahead and open that up and use it. If I can find my scissors. What did I do with them? Here they are. Okay. And I like to keep stuff in jars, so we're just going to put it back in the same jar. And, you know, like I said, I don't like my working pantry. I like it to be, you know, 3 to 6 months. So, you know, if you're storing longer, you could probably store up a year in your glass jars with a lid. But anything longer than that, you will probably want to think of an alternative storage solution. Okay, let's get that out. Okay, there we go. Now, let's finish this part. Let me bring you down. Okay, so the first thing we're doing is we're filling up this cup for the second cup of rice. Okay. All right, there's that. And I like to put the lid on and just give it a good shake to kind of settle that, to make room for the spices that I'm going to be adding. So there's that. Let's do this one. Okay, now the first thing that it's going to call for is 3 tablespoons of chicken bouillon, which I do not have at the moment. So I'm just going to add everything else, which is a tablespoon of dried parsley. Okay. Can you guys see? Tablespoon of dried parsley. Tablespoon here. 2 teaspoons of onion powder. Okay, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, which I have right there. Two teaspoons. Let's double check. Yes, 2 teaspoons of onion. Let's make sure this is powder. Yes, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1/4 of a teaspoon of dried thyme, which I have right here. If I can pry it open. Okay, dried thyme, 1/4 of a teaspoon. 1, 2, and then 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. 1 and 2. Okay, now I do need to add chicken bouillon to this, but I'm going to go ahead and label my jars and set them aside. So this one is chicken rice. Chicken rice. Okay. Okay, now you're going to have to trust me because chances are I don't know if I'll be able to come back and show you me adding the chicken bouillon to these, but I am ordering it today, and when it gets here, I'll come back and I'll add 3 tablespoons of chicken bouillon to each jar. So I know that these are not finished, so I'm going to leave them on my counter. There we go. And let me see, I think that I will make some of the Spanish rice. I have everything to do that. Let me see if I have some dehydrated tomato. Let me take a look. Okay, I have some dehydrated tomato, and I'm going to run it through my blender and see if I can get some powder out of this. The Spanish rice does call for 2 teaspoons of tomato powder. It says it's optional, or I could use tomato paste when I make the rice, but because I have this, let's go ahead and use it. Let's use it up. Oh, out of the corner of my eye, I see a little chipmunk running to my chicken food bins and my bird food bins. Even though I've put plenty out there for him this morning, he likes to come up, nudge the lid off, and hunt for the things he likes. Now I'm busy. Oh, there he is. Oh my God, he's so funny. He's about this big, and he's given me a look through the glass. And there he has nudged the lid corner off, and he's popped in, and I think he's eating the peanuts and the seeds. Merry Christmas, little chipmunk. You go for it. Let me see if I can get this where I want it, and I'll be back. All right, let's just dump that in there. Come on. Might as well use it all. Can I get that out? All right, not today. All right, let's see if we can get some powder made. I think we did. Let's see. Oh yeah. It's a little bit chunky, but it'll work just fine. I want to put it in a jar though for right now. Okay, good enough. All right, let's make the Spanish rice one, shall we? So the first thing we're going to do is 2 cups of rice. Got a little bit of mess down here, but we're okay. Here we go. Can you see me right there? 2 empty jars. And we're going to do 2 cups of rice. One and 2. There we go. And I hope this is 2. 1 and 2. Okay, perfect. And we still have a tiny bit left. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to shake that rice down so I have a little bit of room for everything. There we go. Okay, now, like I said, I've got to put the chicken bouillon in these later. So, here we go. 1 teaspoon of salt. It's easy enough. 1 teaspoon of salt. There we go. And there we go. 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Where did I put my onion powder? Here it is. 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Okay. Half a teaspoon of chili powder. There we go. 1 teaspoon of cumin. Right there. This is the chili powder that I use. Okay, 1 teaspoon of cumin. There we go. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And 2 teaspoons of our dried tomato. One and 2 and 1 and 2. Now, to these, I'm also going to need to add 2 teaspoons of chicken bouillon. So we'll get that in there. Just going to give that jar a nice shake. And we'll give this one a nice shake. And I have to find another lid. I think I have some in the dishwasher, but we're going to mark this Spanish. Spanish rice, 1024. Okay, and I'm going to leave these out on my counter because I know I've got to add chicken bouillon. Now, those are the 3 that I am going to make for right now. I might go back and make the beef rice if I order a little bit of beef bouillon because I have only the better than beef bouillon. I don't have the dry granule stuff. It's pretty cheap, so I think I can do it. I don't believe I'm going to do the butter herb or the curry rice, but you know, we can see. And that's it. The rice is made. Now, it doesn't look like she gives directions for how to cook it. So I will go back and watch her video and see what the cooking instructions are. And if not, there's a ton of these exact recipes all over YouTube. We will find one for 2 cups of rice and I will put the directions down for you. Okay? My guess is you could cook it in your rice cooker just like you would for 2 cups of rice. All right? Or on top of your stove for 2 cups of rice. It's probably why she didn't add it. It feels like it might be a little bit self-explanatory. Okay, I will see you guys. Maybe I'll continue to add to this. We don't know. But anyway, thank you for joining me today, and I will see you guys later. All right, ta-ta. Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, October the 24th. And it's about 11 o'clock in the afternoon, and yesterday I left you making some dry rice mixes, and we did an onion, a chicken, and a Spanish rice. Now the onion we did just fine because I had all of the ingredients. The chicken and the Spanish rice, I was missing chicken bouillon. So last night when I got my order, I added the chicken bouillon to my chicken and rice jars. And so those are right here. I made a little bit of a mess because I'm messy all the time. All right, there it is. Okay, so here are the 2 completed jars of chicken rice. And down here, I'm just going to go ahead and show you that to the Spanish rice, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of chicken bouillon to each jar. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Okay. Now, I still made a mess. I had so much fun making these that I think I'm going to go ahead and make a couple of rice roni chicken flavors. Now, I did come across a recipe for that, and I'm going to go ahead and try to make maybe 4 of those, maybe 2. It just depends on how much ingredients I have. And we'll get those on the pantry shelves for this fall and winter, and that should take us through. So let me gather up what I need, and I'll come back and we'll do that. All right. Okay, I'm back. Sort of. I want to put my prepared rice-a-roni in a pint-sized jar, and so I need to half the recipe. And so the recipe is going to call for 2 cups uncooked rice, 1 cup of broken angel hair. I'm using this. 1/4 of a cup of dried parsley, 5 tablespoons of chicken bouillon, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of dried thyme. I'm going to divide that in half so I can make 2 jars in the pint size. So moving forward, the measurements that I'll be giving you are modified to fit the jar that I want to use. So let's come down here. This is not going to be anything crazy. Right there. All right, 1 cup of rice per jar. And then 1/2 cup of the vermicelli. And I'm going to have to just do this one by sight. So about 1/2 cup. And then about 1/2 cup. All right, and then we're going to add 2.5 tablespoons of chicken bouillon to each jar. So 1, 2 and a half, 1, 2 and a half. Then we're going to add, it says 1/4 of a cup of parsley. I'm just going to add a tablespoon and a tablespoon. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons. There we go. There we go, 2 tablespoons of that. And then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of onion powder. One and 2. And then a 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder per jar. One and 2. And then 1/8 of a teaspoon of the dried thyme. Let me see if I can get this open. There we go. And I only have 1/4, so I'll be putting half into each jar. Okay, that is it. Now, when you want to cook this, you're going to melt if you're making a full recipe, 2 tablespoons of butter in a skillet. You're going to add 1 cup of the rice roni mix and stir. Saute for about a minute or until pasta starts to turn golden brown. Then you're going to add 2 1/4 cup of water and bring to a boil. Reduce heat and cover and simmer for 15 minutes and then serve. So that is it. And just like that, we have 2 jars of chicken rice-a-roni. Now let me find my lids. And there you have it. So I am going to take these to my pantry, stick them on my pantry shelves, and go ahead and get started on whatever else I am going to do today. All right, I suspect this will be the end of this particular video. I'll try to get it out in the next day or two. I do have a food bank appointment this afternoon, so probably sometime late tonight there will be a food bank haul. All right, you guys, have a great day. Ta-ta.